Hello everyone and welcome to AHS Countdown. I'm your host Reese Kinder, joined by my co-host James Tippins. James, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great, Reese. Excited for this match between the Auburn Tigers and Smith Station Panthers.
Yeah, Auburn coming off of not the best performance against the Central Red Devils last week. 36-0 was the final score. The Red Devils came into Duck Samford Stadium, got a huge win, and then the Panthers coming off of a great win, could be a momentum booster for them. Going into this game against Auburn. They won against Jag last week, 42-32. The Tigers looking to get back in the win column this week against the Panthers. But let's get into the last week's performance. Coming off the loss against Central, Auburn quarterback, Casey Myers struggled, wasn't looking good at all, wasn't able to find his receivers, and struggled to read the blitz in that game.
Yeah, Reese, you hit it nail in the coffin right there. The offense just was nowhere to be found. Casey Myers, we hadn't seen that from him. But as you said, the blitz, we really overlooked the Central defense. They brought their A game for this game. All-out pressure on Casey Myers. The coverage was great. But, yeah, as you said, Auburn's offense just really nowhere to be found.
Yeah. But we're going to get into the game breakdown now. And we're going to start with the strengths for both teams. James, what are the strengths for Auburn and Smith Station tonight?
Yeah, for Auburn, it's the defense. It's been the defense all year, except for last game, of course. The defense hung around for the first half, but after that, someone kind of ran away with it. But with Greg Williams going down, these linebackers have stepped up. The secondary is looking great. The big guys up front, Colin King, Carnell Jackson, keep doing their thing. And then for Central, it's their run game. They run a cool little triple option kind of ordeal, and they run those two running backs, and kind of hard to stop. So for Smith Station, it's definitely their run game.
Yeah, I feel like, the defense, like you said, those players stepping up. Will Lee, one of the players, stepped up last week against Central. Will Lee had a strong outing. Had some great tackles, had some hard hits, honestly, in that game. But Will Lee, just a great leader, great senior leader on this Tigers team for defense. And don't forget Aiden Parker, Elijah Scott playing really good in this game. And then, as you mentioned, Smith Station, the run game, that's what they've been able to do all season. I feel like they've been able to get the job done running the ball. And if this Tigers team is not ready for that triple option, because it is a hard, offense to read, and if you're not ready for that, then things could go wrong. But I'm going to get right into my weaknesses tonight for both teams. I'm going to start with Auburn. It's a strong defense. We overlooked, like you said, that Central defense last week. If Smith Station's defense comes in here and just looks exactly how Central did, or maybe a little bit, behind what Central did, but still is able to get stops, I feel like this Auburn team will struggle because Casey Myers, last week wasn't able to get out of the pocket as much, wasn't able to read his receivers, like we mentioned earlier. And if Auburn has that, then they'll probably lose this game tonight against Smith Station. But the strength for Smith Station, or the weakness for Smith Station, is a high-powered offense. We've seen that all season. Smith Station, when they played Central, gave up 56 points. And that Smith Station defense is going to have to be ready and prepared for an offense like Auburn. Auburn can throw the ball deep. They can run the ball down your throat. This team is just, anything they can do. And Smith Station's got to look out for that. But really should be a good matchup tonight between Auburn and Smith Station. But now we're going to move into key players tonight. And, James, what key player are you looking out for tonight?
Yeah, Eli Scott, stepped up in a big way last week. Had 2 sacks. He's been stepping up. He's a really speedy edge rusher. Gets off the line quick. Is able to pressure the quarterback in every way, shape, and form. So Eli Scott's my player spotlight, and I hope to see him continue that this week.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Eli Scott's been playing outstanding football as of late. This whole entire defense, you can pick any player on that defense, I feel like, and they could be a key player. But we're going to move now to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we will have Player Spotlight with James Tippins.
Play hard, play to win. But when sports injuries occur, you can rely on Encore. Our professional team treats all types of sports-related injuries for athletes of all ages. Our licensed therapists work closely with the patient, your family, and physician to get you back into action quickly and safely. At Encore, we love to see you move. Log on to EncoreRehab.com for a location near you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to AHS Countdown. We're going to get right into our Player Spotlight segment now. And, James, what player is just on your spotlight tonight?
Yeah, Reese, tonight it's junior Hampton Jordan, the big tight end, 6'6". We put him out there for run packages, and he does a great job of pass protecting. He's a big dude, but he also can get downfield and make some plays. So tonight it's Hampton Jordan just being able to support that run game and the pass game with his pass protection skills, but it's Hampton Jordan for me tonight.
Yeah, Hampton Jordan, a great blocker, huge guy. I mean, we've seen him in practice. This is his first year playing football for Auburn. And Hampton Jordan, a junior, like we said, really big guy, plays on the basketball team as well. So multi-sport athlete, and this guy, like we said, run blocking and just catching ability, seems like he's been able to do a lot of that this season. And hopefully he'll get the ball more against a team like Smith Station, and I'll be really interested to see. But we're going to move to our region standings now, and we're going to start with the region standings. Number 1 right now is Central and Carver, both tied for the number 1 spot. Both of them actually play tonight, so that should be interesting between those two teams, 6-1 versus 5-1. So Carver trying to continue this great season that they've been having. This Carver team, I feel like underlooked coming in the season, so Carver really making a name for themselves, tied for first in the region right now. And then Auburn in second place after dropping the Central game last week. And then Opelika sits in third. Dothan is in fourth. Smith Station has passed Enterprise, and they are in fifth place. And then Enterprise is in seventh place, actually. And then JAG in eighth place. So right now the region looking pretty good, except Enterprise and JAG both eliminated. If Smith Station loses tonight, they will be eliminated from the playoffs. But, folks, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we will have our bowl predictions and game picks.
When I was getting ready to retire, I had to have somewhere to look for some health insurance. So I ran into an old classmate of mine at Hardee's one morning, and he happened to be driving for Auburn City Schools. So we got to talking. He was telling me about the benefits, and it's a great opportunity because we leave here a couple of hours every morning, a couple of hours in the afternoon. We got from probably 8:30 to 2:30. Go play golf, work in the yard, do whatever you want to do. You're not gonna work on the weekends. You're not gonna work on holidays. You got all summer, so that's great.
Okay, if somebody's considering driving a school bus, I would say do it. There are so many opportunities for different people, different walks of life, different roles, no matter what situation you're in for being a bus driver. There are spaces for those who own their own business and can make their own hours. This is a fantastic opportunity for that. For those stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads that don't necessarily want to be gone from the house all day but can do a morning and an afternoon shift, that is fantastic schedule.
But I know they're paying on Mr. Lewis to take them to school. So I try to get there on time, every day, and show up every day. And that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. I love kids. I love people. I like tiny people.
Best part be the school bus driver. Again, you help these kids get education. You help these kids go to the school. And you help these kids go back to home. This is, in my opinion, the best part.
My favorite things are the handwritten notes, hands down. Even if the parents are making them do it, they usually think about, what you mean to them and what impact that you've made on them.
We need bus drivers. We love to have bus drivers. We need drivers every day.
It's all about the kids. They're the ones that's special, honestly. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm still here. And they can't get rid of me, But I'm not letting those 70 kids that are counting on me to get to school, I'm not letting them down.
Hello everyone and welcome back to AHS Countdown. We're going to get started now with our bowl predictions. And James, what is your bowl prediction tonight for this matchup?
Yeah, Reese, I don't know if you'd call it a bold prediction because Auburn is the favorite coming into this one, but I really expect Auburn just to bounce back, have a big bounce back week. Keith Etheridge, I think he rallied his troops this week. Forget about last week. I say Auburn wins by multiple, even 3 scores this game against Smith Station and carries this momentum into the playoffs and the rest of the season.
Yeah, like you said there, I feel like this team's going to be able to put it behind them. They did that with the Vestavia Hills loss. They're going to be able to put this loss behind them and continue moving forward with hopefully maybe a hosting of the playoff game in Duck Sanford Stadium if they can continue this run that they've had this season. But my bold prediction tonight, I feel like the Smith Station Panthers are going to be able to do something that not a lot of people are going to expect. They're going to be able to score a lot of points. I feel like they might be able to score almost 30 points against a Tigers defense who's really good, because I feel like the Smith Station team, the triple option, tough to defend, and if you're not ready, Smith Station's going to just run it down your throat, and they can pass the ball too when you least expect it, so I feel like the Panthers are going to be able to get that done. But we're going to move now to our game picks. I'm going to say the records first. The current standings: Cherish 13-5 on the year. I did drop 3 games, so I'm 15-4. And then James, you're looking pretty good. 20 wins now for you, 20-5. So we're going to get right into our game picks. Our first game up is a region game between 1-5 Jag and 3-3 Dothan. James, who do you have between Dothan and Jag?
Yeah, Dothan also runs the triple option. I don't think this one will be close. Give me Dothan.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. I really feel like the Jaguars, have been struggling on defensive side of things this year, and Dothan's just going to be able to run the ball down their throat. They have a great run game there in Dothan, and they're going to be able to continue. They did win last week, so they're going to go to 4-3 and maybe sneak into a playoff spot. We'll see. Right now they're down a little bit too far in the region standings, but we'll see if they can climb their way back up. And our next game up is 6-1 Opelika versus 2-4 Enterprise. As I mentioned earlier, Enterprise eliminated from playoff contention. This is a home game for Enterprise, but Opelika coming in there 6-1. James, who do you have between the Bulldogs and the Wildcats?
Yeah, going into Enterprise, kind of a tough place to play. Enterprise, you said, struggling, eliminated from playoffs, but I expect them to come out and get a big win against Opelika this week.
Okay, I like that. You do like to go the upset side of things. I'm going to have to disagree with you here, though. I feel like the Bulldogs are just a well-rounded team. The coaches there have gotten the team together after that Auburn loss, and they've been able to, bounce back, and they've been winning some games big. They score a lot on offense, and I feel like this Opelika team's going to be able to get the job done against the Wildcats on Friday night. But our next game up is 5-2 Hillcrest versus 5-2 Thompson. Thompson coming off the big win against Hewitt-Trussville last week. And James, who do you have between Thompson and Hillcrest?
I got 2 words: Trent Seaborn. Thompson gets it done.
Nice. I'm going to agree with you there. I can't go against Thompson. The Warriors have just been so good this season. They've lost 2 out-of-region games, so I feel like this Warriors team is going to be able to get it done at home against Hillcrest, who is looking to make the playoffs this year yet again. And the Warriors just look like they could be back to Birmingham again for state this year, the way they've been playing. But our next game up is 6-1 Hewitt-Trussville versus 3-3 Prattville. Prattville struggled last week and against Hoover, and Hewitt-Trussville also struggled against Thompson. James, who do you have between Hewitt and Prattville?
Yeah, Hewitt-Trussville's a really well-rounded team. Just ran into Thompson on the wrong week, but I'm still going to ride with Hewitt-Trussville. Yeah,
I'm going to have to agree with you here. Even though it's at Prattville, Hewitt's going to be able to get the job done. I really feel like, Prattville's just been struggling all season. A lot of just miscues and everything. They've played some tough teams as well, and Hewitt's going to come in there looking for, a bounce-back win, looking to get a huge win and extend their win or get their winning streak going again and possibly make a good playoff spot. So I got the Huskies in this one. But our next game up is a huge region matchup. This is for first place implications, actually. This is between 6-1 Central versus 5-1 Carver. James, who do you have between Central and Carver?
Yeah, we saw Central last week. We just saw how dynamic they were. We overlooked their defense. We thought they were more of an offense-oriented team. They proved us wrong, shutting Auburn out last week. This Central team is just too good. Carver, it's their first big matchup of the year. We haven't really seen them play anyone, but I've got Central by multiple.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with you here. I want to go upset. I feel like Carver has the players, has the talent to compete with this Central team. I know we underlooked Central's defense last week, but I feel like this Carver team is going to be able to get the job done against a Central team who has just been very good. They only lost to IMG Academy, but I feel like Carver's going to be able to get the job done at home, so they're going to move to 6-1 in the season, and Carver going to be a scary team in this playoffs coming up. But, yeah, I got Carver. But our next game up is our last game. It is the 5-2 Auburn Tigers versus the Smith Station Panthers, who are 2-5 on the season. James, who do you have between Auburn and Smith Station?
Yeah, Reese, as I said earlier, I think Auburn's going to get a big bounce-back win. This offense is going to get rolling again. Casey Myers, get his arm under him, but yeah, I've got the Tigers. Yeah,
I'm going to agree with you here. I'm going to go with the Tigers. I feel like Auburn just going to be able to overwhelm Smith Station, going to get out to an early lead, and they're never going to look back. So I'm going to have the Tigers in this one, and I think they'll improve to 6-2 and maybe beyond. They could possibly continue that winning streak into playoffs. But yeah, Smith Station will be eliminated from playoff contention if they lose. So a lot to play for on Friday night for the Panthers, but we'll see. But I got the Tigers in this one. But now we're going to quickly move to our keys to the game segment. James, what is your key to the game tonight for the Tigers?
Yeah, I hinted at it earlier, but the offense starts with the quarterback, and that's Casey Myers. And Casey Myers struggled last week. If he can lock back in and get into his rhythm, getting the ball to Askew and Welch outside, if he can do that, this Tigers team will have no problem beating the Jaguars.
Yeah, I really feel like Casey Myers, struggled last week against Central. Didn't struggle before that, though. We saw he got his confidence back after the Vestavia game, was able to find his receivers, been able to, move the ball a lot downfield, that fast-paced offense Coach Etheridge loves to run. But, yeah, if Casey Myers can do that, I feel like Auburn will be able to get a big win. And then for Smith Station, my key to the game is a hot start. You got to get off to a hot start. You got to score maybe the first 2 or 3 drives. And I really feel like the Smith Station team, if they're able to do that, then they could possibly get an upset win and maybe sneak into playoffs if they continue to win the rest of the way. But, yeah, I think Smith Station hot start definitely. Well, folks, that is going to do it for AHS Countdown. We hope you guys enjoy this matchup between Auburn and Smith Station, and we'll see you guys at the kick.